right. Hey, welcome back. It's Star Trek Resignation. But we're back to Lower Decks. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. Hey, everybody. Maybe the last you listened was just us defeated by Discovery Season 3? Anyways, hey, it's me. It's Wade, Bowen, and with me, my crew here on Star Trek Resignation is we got Sean Parada.
Hey,
And Glenn Hall.
I've returned.
Yeah, we all have.
Goddamn right.
I will say, we at this point, we have been on this particular podcast across all of its permutations much longer than James and Hugh ever were.
Yes.
So I feel like we are...
I didn't call y'all scabs this time, did I?
Yeah.
I called you my crew.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah.
They'll always be the OG, though.
Yeah, it's hard to usurp fully.
Yeah.
I also was going to say we shouldn't forget what we actually title this particular permutation is Star Trek Resignation Under the Bridge.
Under the Bridge.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe you heard a nifty little theme song here. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. We're doing.
Not from me. You didn't.
I'll put it in.
Last time we did Lower Decks, you recorded a thing for every episode, didn't you? Or was that?
Well,
Picard.
No, that was Picard. It all runs together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I haven't actually done an Under the Bridge. Hello. You know.
Well, that's not Under the Bridge.
No, you did. No, Sean, you did. You recorded a song. You
Yeah.
recorded a parody of Under the Bridge for the last season.
I did?
Yes.
Yeah. No, you did.
Really?
Sean, listen to this episode when it comes out. You will hear your own voice singing this song.
What?
Yeah, somebody did a little MIDI thing and you sang over it, and yeah.
I have no recollection of this. That's wonderful.
Yes.
No, and then you talked a lot of game for doing it for the Discovery, and then we didn't.
Yeah, no, I didn't do it for Discovery.
And you know what? You know what? I can't fault you.
Nope.
You did. We did everything we could, man.
Yeah.
Well, we just couldn't find the right song for Discovery. I think the closest we came was Disco Inferno.
I feel like that's the right song.
I mean, I got COVID. I'm gonna blame the COVID.
Yeah, and then Sean got COVID. And,
I was working on it. I was ready to do it. Then I got the sickest I've ever been. So
right.
Wasn't an option.
Yikes.
Yeah, I threw a little thing in there and for just.
I liked it. It was really good. This isn't that show.
Not that.
That podcast was good. That Star Trek was not good.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Good pod, bad Trek.
And a little bit of a spoiler for what we'll talk about later in the episode. There was a little bit of what I interpreted as subtextual criticism of Discovery. On this new show.
You're talking about the end of episode 2.
Yes,
but we haven't even talked about episode 1.
Yeah, you're jumping.
This is
way ahead.
This is the first episode of Star Trek of Under the Bridge. Oh wait. Oh, but you know what? We're gonna talk about episode 1 and 2 here because they both came out, and that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah,
because
let's do what we fucking want.
Yeah. You're not the boss of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
A person I don't know that's listening to this.
No, Wade's the boss of me. That's
Yes.
That's the hierarchy.
I pay these guys nothing, and they do what I want. Now dance, monkey, dance.
And well, I did watch over 550 hours of Star Trek.
You chose that. You chose that.
I did.
I
did.
No one asked you to do that.
No, yeah.
In fact, some of us begged you to stop.
Right. We do get some money from Patreon. Go to Patreon, give for Kickers of Elves, give us some money, sure.
Yeah.
And I shared money with y'all.
Yeah, it was very, very nice of you.
I don't take really any. It just sits there and pays for the web hosting and for editing and I'm not making a whole lot of bank off of this if that's what you're worried about. Person I don't know that's listening to this. Look, don't judge me. You can see exactly how much we make there. Hey, go throw some bones over there. Whatever.
Yeah, goddamn right.
Or not. But hey, look, we're talking about Star Trek Lower Decks, the Star Trek show that we like, or we did last time. Do we like this now? I don't know.
I still like it. I think that second episode in particular.
Well, I guess that's what we're here to talk about, isn't it?
Do we like it? Let's find out. I like it a lot. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, they will.
Well, I guess we're not interested in suspense.
Sorry.
You're fine. I'm kidding. We don't hide our feelings for long on this pod.
No, we don't.
No. Can't keep things bottled up. It'll kill you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like, listen, all you people doing all these Star Trek podcasts talking about how great Discovery is. How do you sleep at night? Does that just discover? Oh, wait.
Fucking hacks. I get it when Tawny Newsome and Paul F. Tompkins do it. They have to. You don't.
But hey, I mean, if you get joy out of it, fine. But
wait, hold on. Is Sean not going to get yelled at for referencing the pod that shall not be named?
I just meant in conversation. I just heard them talking at a Starbucks about how they liked it. Do they record those conversations?
I don't know. All I know is that they're on this show you might have heard of called Lower Decks.
Yeah, they are.
She's the lead and he plays a bird. So they have to
He plays a bird with two great lines. He's really funny.
What did he say? He was going to play with the puppet at the end of it, and they're like, "Get."
Yeah, he says something as he's about to play with the puppet, and then whatever he says in early on in the episode is also great. Fuck, I don't remember.
I think I wrote it down. Shit, I know. What the hell did he say?
Well, you know what? Put a pin on it when we get there.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
So. No, or let's hold 5 minutes and make everybody listen to that. Silence, and then...
Hey.
The sound of research.
Now, that's what editing's for.
Hey.
But, okay, do we want to just jump into what we're talking about here? Lower Decks?
To episode 201, Strange Energies.
Yes. Do either of y'all want to give a synopsis, a brief one, please?
Fuck you. Sean, go ahead.
Or just start talking about it.
I'm not. No, no. I don't know what was happening in this episode.
It's a riff. The episode was a riff on the Gary Mitchell episode of TOS. So Ransom.
Yeah. Something I know. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's references. I mean, if anything, I learned about watching these two episodes. Oh, this is good. This is the reference Trek show.
Yeah, that starts to get a little
built for our boy Glenn over here, Mr. 100%. But
hey, you're spoiling this week's.
Hey, I'm just saying you're a hell of a guy, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, thank you. I appreciate.
Yeah,
that.
It's the 100 emoji
and all of its dripping sincerity.
Yeah. If there's something else, I guess we'll tell me about that later, or not.
I don't know. Yeah, what do you mean?
Or not?
Yeah, we might not have time.
Or not. But
it's already 10 o'clock. I don't think we have time.
But
so to continue the synopsis, which I will point out that my co-hosts have unnecessarily elongated.
You didn't even start the synopsis.
I didn't know you were going to give one. I was going to give one.
No.
But I don't have to. You can do it. If you can do it quickly.
Well, Glenn, you can maybe let the host of the show do it.
Fuck it. Go ahead, Wade.
Huh? No, remember the end of last season where Tawny Newsome did the therapy session in a holodeck? Well, that's how this opens up. Remember Cardassians? That's how this opens up. Oh, but then she doesn't like Jennifer. I'm glenning all over this.
Yeah, that's right. You eat shit.
It's too much detail. This is a nightmare.
Her and her mom are best buds now because that's the end. This episode was all about remembering the status quo from the last season, and these first two episodes actually were about resetting the status quo.
Yeah.
Mariner and her mom came to an agreement where she was going to be fun mom and she was going to be a good daughter and she'd let her do her stuff behind the scenes, her side missions that are against protocol. Well, in this episode, one of that goes south when Jack Ransom becomes a space god, because it's Star Trek and space gods, that happens all the time. He becomes a space god because they power wash a building, and then he goes all Armageddon god and wants to destroy everything, basically because he's real angry at the captain for being a bad captain and letting her daughter do everything and not respecting the chain of command. He becomes a petty little space god. They have to kick him in the nuts to stop him being a space god, so he can vomit a rainbow. Stop being a space god. They put him in the. They don't put him in the brig. They put him in med bay, and everything's fine again. Mom and daughter acknowledge that they don't like pretending to be nice, and they go back to the status quo from season 1 where she'll do her shit under the table and fuck it, you're going to the bridge, are you sending me back to the bridge? You bet your ass I am. I love you, Mom. You don't control me. The end.
Hooray.
Did you say the bridge or the brig just now?
Brig.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you. Never mind. I was
They're
going to correct
close,
you, but
that's fine.
Yeah,
I know the difference between jail and the command center.
I don't look. If I had an opportunity to correct you, I'd be remiss if I didn't take it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, hey. Yeah, take your shot, but don't miss. You aim for the king. Yeah, I'm not the king.
And I did miss, and I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
Please don't hurt me.
You said bridge. I'm just not a pedantic fuck. I knew what you meant.
Oh, okay.
We're talking. We're not reading off a script. Yeah.
I probably should bridge. Yeah, I can't talk.
Yeah.
I've been podcasting for years. I still can't talk.
Yeah, who gives a shit? I knew what you fucking meant, so will they.
I'm sorry. I'll cut it out.
Oh, you're fine. I'm giving you shit too. I'll give shit to everybody. I got all that shit.
I'll give you shit. You're cool. Who is that? There's a fourth person here. You don't see him.
Fourth guy. You don't
quiet,
see him. It's fine.
Standing there, not saying anything. I can't say anything nice. What?
I liked the parts of this episode that weren't references to things I haven't seen.
Well, what's that leave?
The kicking in the balls,
all right,
which was great. Yeah. I don't know if him turning into a giant space head and trying to eat the ship is a reference to TOS, and if it was, great. But if it wasn't, I liked it anyway. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, it is in the sense that, like, there are just lots of, like Wade said, there are just lots of episodes where space gods, grab the ship. Which, by the way, there's a point in the episode where when a Ransom has, like, by the way, big Andros from Star Fox 64 vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
When he had the hands and the head, yeah. So when he reaches out to grab the ship,
right?
Brace for grabbing, which I thought.
There's that one where they meet Apollo and it's the big hand that grabs the ship or whatever, the space guy.
Yeah, exactly. Sean and I referenced that in I referenced that in I Love the Hades, the bonus pod, which Sean and I recorded.
Oh, right.
I probably rolled my eyes auditorily.
Yes.
Yes, you probably did.
Oh, that's on the Patreon. I was going to throw that up for everybody. Maybe I will. Or you can go to Kickers of Elves, patreon.com/kickersofelves.
Yeah, go to the Patreon. It's a little bit of Boko.
Do you guys want to just do this? Do you guys just want to talk about the reference stuff now, and I'll just like hang out? You want to get that out of the way?
Sure. I mean, yeah,
right,
I guess.
Go ahead.
It was nice having you on the podcast, Sean.
I'll be here. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Just like wave at me when it's time.
All right.
So, I mean, as far as references, it wasn't like beyond the central premise. It wasn't like super duper reference heavy. Like,
no,
there was the whales on the art, the fresco that she power washed.
Oh, was that a Star Trek 4 reference? I just thought it was like.
I assume anytime because they also mentioned cetacean ops in this episode again. So anytime they reference whales, I presume it is a Star Trek 4 wink.
Oh, maybe.
But there was very conspicuously a like cosmic looking whale on like the fresco that when she was like power washing.
Space whales, man. It could be a reference to no, never mind. I can't remember. There's a heavy metal album about whales in space. Sirius. It's from Mars to Sirius. Never mind. It's bad enough to get esoteric Trek references. People aren't going to get references from French metal bands Gojira.
Yeah, right. Yeah, why you can't ever
this has gone even more off the rails than I expected.
Yeah, seriously, you can't give me shit ever again.
That's on me. I'd rather talk about aughts new metal shit that I don't know anything about. But
we're not talking new metal. We're talking new Trek, Wade.
All right. Gojira, they have some fun tunes. I guess they got a concept album about space whales. Anyways, yeah, sorry.
What a night.
And then this episode also had other references.
How am I the one that gets like yelled at here?
Yell at me? That's fine. Yeah.
Wade's the host. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, fair enough.
Y'all are co-hosts at this point, so.
Oh no, I don't want that power.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So everybody gets to yell at everybody.
If I'm a co-host, I should like or care about Star Trek.
Well, to get back to the reference machine, as mentioned, the premise of the episode is very heavily indebted to Gary Mitchell in particular from the first official pilot. I guess I don't know, whatever. The first official episode of Trek that wasn't the unaired pilot.
Right. The ship from from the hologram opening was, I think, that Sulu ship from that when he comes in Voyage Home. It's the same kind of design. It's an old design.
What is it? The Excelsior.
Yeah. That's a thing.
And then actually the opening I've noticed that there aren't many changes to that opening montage in the theme, but they have added a Pakled ship to the Borg.
Were those Pakled ships? I knew that they weren't just Romulan anymore.
Yeah. It's like kind of like the Junker vibe. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh
man, I hate myself.
I know.
When they're when Tendi is trying to work on Eugene Cordero, there's a shuttlecraft that says Sequoia. That's probably a shuttlecraft from I don't know. That felt like a reference to something, but I don't.
That sounds familiar.
I was counting on Mr. 100% over here to remember everything.
I know. If you put a phaser in my head, I'd probably guess DS9, but
DS9. No, there's no runabouts. This is a starship. This is not a. There's not run. Sorry, I was about to get nerd rage on you, but
that's okay. No, it's okay. It's I mean, there's a lot of it to say.
The shuttlecraft. It's not a runabout. I don't believe so.
Not a runabout. Sorry.
And those were mostly named after rivers. But oh god, I hate myself. Go on.
Well, I was gonna say the episode, the reference I particularly appreciated in this episode wasn't really like a Star Trek story thing. It was mostly the implementation of Riker using a bunch of jazz puns jazz metaphors when he's commanding a ship.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. That especially in the second episode.
We got a glimpse of that last season.
A little bit.
I'm sure we did.
Riker loves jazz is a joke. So I mean, it's
right.
It's been with his character for a while. So he's a jazz.
Yes.
So,
but I wrote down the line. He says when they're kind of when they're fleeing the Pakled ship, that he goes, "I'm starting to think this jam session's got too many licks and not enough comp," which I think Boimler says. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't either.
Nope.
Well, I guess I know what licks means in a music context. I did not realize it applied to jazz, but. Sure,
yeah, I don't know.
But there was some that to me was there was some decent jokes in this episode. There was that, and then I love the the first joke where they say oh, Stevens he's Ransom's best friend, and I think this is after he gets powers. He goes, no, he's not, and then you see the guy in the background sniffling.
Oh.
that was a very Golden Age Simpsons joke.
Yeah. I mean, I like the jokes, the reference.
Yeah.
What I didn't like this first episode all that much.
I like the second episode better for sure.
I didn't like the premise. The strange energies, because it was hey, remember in TOS everything was stupid, because it was made in the 60s. So I don't know. It's strange energies make people space gods, and it's okay. And this is holding over Star Trek TNG, where they tried to harden the technobabble into being a light, but they're see, it's TNG, but we're it's all in the same universe, so all that stupid stuff still exists, so we can be just as dumb as the original season. And it's just ooh, strange energies is the technical term for any energy that makes a space god. And then space gods, when you become a space god, you just become an asshole, and everything about Jack Ransom being a good officer and everything goes out the window because his ego goes crazy. And and the only thing to do is kick him in the nuts. Is I don't know. I want my space guys to be a little more nuanced, if you ask me. But
sure.
Well, isn't that kind of that's what you run into, the line between sort of satiring yourself, satirizing yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're doing Space God, you're still doing it. The A plot of that episode is that he becomes a space god and tries to kill them.
Right.
You know, like they could say like, wasn't this stupid when they did it? Look, we're doing it too. You're still kind of doing the same fucking thing. Yeah, and like, how did they stop him? Well, they dropped a boulder on him. All right, well, you also
because that's what they did to Gary Mitchell.
You dropped a boulder on him. Yeah, like it's right. It's like, all right. Yeah. Well, what'd you do then? You dropped a boulder on him.
It's it's like TNG. They like, we can't do that's dumb. We can't do that anymore because audiences are more sophisticated than they were in '64 or whatever that came out.
We've wrapped back around.
Yeah, and now they're just like, oh, hey, remember that? Okay, fine.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I get it, but it's kind of lame.
You know, if I had been writing this episode, I think maybe a slightly different direction I might have taken was to still, you know, you can riff on, like, again, like the dumb 60s, you know, space god stuff that they did all the time, but instead maybe kind of use that mechanic to apply it to all the different characters. Like, see, like, what would each of these characters do if, like, you know, very suddenly given the powers of a space god, and, you know, maybe kind of play around with that dynamic, but that also would kind of eliminate...
Right, well, like, they gave, like, oh, what would this character do as a space god? And, like it's a cartoon. It's big archetypes. I get, like, they're not trying to be too, like, heady with everything. But, like, last season they had, like, Jack Ransom is the pretty boy, whatever. And then he turned out to be a good commander or whatever. And him and Mariner had their kind of tete-a-tete, and they came to an agreement. But in this one, it's like, he sure likes working out, right? So as a space god, he's just doing curls and making everybody go to the gym. And I was like, okay, fine.
It was a little shallow, and I think if that had been like one segment of, you know, 3 or 4 beats of this, I think it might have played a little better. Yeah. But since it was like focused entirely on him, it maybe kind of wore out its welcome.
Right? Isn't it better if he just like gets omniscient, like god powers, and just uses them to like become a better commander than what's her name again?
Because
like, he's just like, look, Captain, I am good at my job, remember? Right? And it's like, oh yeah, you are.
Because it's like, oh, he's pissed off because they're mad but he's right. She, you know.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, the episode acknowledges that he's like, he's on the right side of history. He's got it. And they use his like omnipotent transformation just to get those two characters to admit that they don't like working together, which I mean, I appreciate the long walk. I'm game for that.
Yeah, I like that, using a space god to do that, but like a space god that just like, but I'm angry. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, whatever.
Well, Sean, you'll appreciate that there is an episode.
Glenn, I'm not going to appreciate what you're going to say, but please, for your own benefit, carry on.
Well, not with that attitude.
Very good.
All right, next episode then, huh? No. Or say what you were going to say.
We liked it? Okay.
Or say what you're going to...
There's an episode of TNG where Riker gets god powers and he uses it to become a better officer. There. I said it.
I don't care. So I wrote a TNG episode. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Where Q gives him the power.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I wrote a Q episode. Ugh.
I mean, and the thing is, Mike McCann should be able to do this all day, because he became Twitter famous, or got this gig basically because he was the Star Trek TNG season 8 Twitter, and
right.
So I was like,
oh, gotcha.
So like, I've been a little disappointed in how dumb some of his plots have been.
This one feels easy. It feels like they're like, oh, I don't know, let's do the god thing, and then he's the buff guy. He wants to work out. He wants to make everybody look like him because he's vain. He wants to.
Right.
It's like, well, you did work last season to give this guy like a little bit of depth, like to throw that out of the way. And like ultimately, like it's his insecurity.
Right.
You know, that's like, and sure, I appreciate showing his insecurity. I got nothing against it. That's good, but to just have him use his god powers to like be vain, the thing that they sort of spent like, you know, his time last season deconstructing.
Right.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I like Jerry O'Connell though. I don't know.
Yeah. I do too. Here's the thing. I think we're also putting a little too much pressure on the show. I feel like because it is if we're being honest with ourselves,
it's the only one that we like.
Yeah. I mean, truly,
no, for sure.
I think that actually is the
fuck them. They could take the pressure. Like I don't have to be nice to them.
Be nice if you were,
because they're not listening to me anyways. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we do it a lot on this show, but they say, you know, like, review like what the thing is, not like what you think it should be, you know, like,
right.
I'm like, whatever, we're just guys talking, we're not like professional TV critics, you know, but like, yeah, I don't know, part of the fun of like big like sci-fi stuff is that like, well, I don't know, if I had this whole sandbox, I'd do this, you know, like, yeah, or, you know, I liked the episode overall. You kick a guy in the balls like 10 times, I can only have so many issues.
Sure.
Right.
I'm really gonna have a good time with that.
You're a simple man with simple taste.
I really am, and all this
kick him in the balls and I'm fine.
Right, I just like a little more ball kicking in Discovery, and I could have tolerated a lot more of that.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, I actually sincerely, wholeheartedly agree with that. I think if there was more of that on that show, it'd be 100 times better.
Yeah,
I think a few kicks in the nards weren't going to save that.
Would have brought me some joy.
Yeah, I don't think the characters would actually work if they just kicked the guy in the balls.
They didn't even do that in the Mirror episode.
Yeah,
would have been nice to at least do that once short, but it wouldn't have saved everything.
What's the B plot in this first episode? I watched them back to back.
Rutherford is chased by Tendi because she thinks that his implants aren't working because he wants to go on a date with the.
It's a date that he went on, and
that's funny.
Is episode 1 of every season going to have him go on a date with Barnes? That's
I know. I kind of like it. I like that she's like, no, like, you did this. You did. She remember, like, she didn't like this. And he's like, I don't know, it's our third date. It's going well.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like really simple and charming.
Yeah, like
an interesting bit of background is we knew that character was, I believe, voiced by Lauren Lapkus, is a Trill, but I think we found out this episode that she is an unjoined Trill.
And she's not. It's not Lauren Lapkus in this episode. If it was last time, it's
I don't think it was in the
something
pilot.
Janae McKenna, I think. I forgot. I looked it up.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I saw Lapkus in the credits. So I'm wondering who she was.
Lapkus was the blue girl who interrupted her simulation.
The Andorian.
Jennifer.
That was Lapkus. Jessica McKenna of Off Book Podcast was.
Yes,
very funny Jessica McKenna.
I think you mentioned this when we did the first episode.
I did, yeah, because I've listened to a few episodes of Off Book. Episode 2 also features some podcast royalty. We'll get to a lot of good podcasters.
Yeah. No Paul Scheer. I think he was Stevens last season.
He was Stevens last.
No.
It's funny for a second.
It's a different character.
Oh no! Right? Is Stevens the like guy with the mustache and?
Yeah, head of.
No, that's not.
He was character.
He was a guy in a yellow shirt with a mustache.
And he has hair.
Oh.
He does have hair, which throws me off. He was not in these 2 episodes.
Okay, so that character was not in this episode. So
yeah,
they look kind of similar at a glance, which is confusing.
Okay, well that's on me.
Yes, no, they did not recast him as that. I thought the same thing at first too.
Thank you for putting me in my place.
I just I saw an opportunity to not watch Star Trek and instead Google things about Paul Scheer.
Yeah, right.
So I took it.
Billups is the name of the character that Scheer voices.
Okay.
Chauncey Billups?
Andy Billups on this show. I assume that's a reference to something I don't get.
Not in these episodes. So we'll get to him if he shows up again. Yeah, Stevens I like though. I like a low status sad sack.
That was a funny bit. I love the commitment to it.
Yeah.
That's a simple game.
Yeah.
Well played. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tendi thing. It was like okay. No, I liked it more or less. And I liked at the end when they play into the Star Trek like, but science, we love science, ha ha ha.
Right.
And they're like, and we bond over our love of science, and they're like, yeah, we're friends now because of science. But then she throws in it, but don't date Barnes.
Yeah.
Which is like
one
little hint of a character note that like that's what makes the show work, where the other ones would just be like, yeah, science is great, and that's the character note that would get with the Discovery. But
right, no, it's good. This show put the like I know everybody's like, we're all sexually open and there's no insecurity anymore, and this show's like, no, of course she's insecure, she likes a guy, just make television, who cares?
Yeah, right. I mean, and Mariner in the cold open is like, I know we're not supposed to have interpersonal conflicts,
yeah,
but I hate that Andorian.
I hate that Andorian.
I mean, that's I think in the last season Jennifer is off screen, and the way I think I said I liked how she says Jennifer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then now we're getting into just the the notion of an Andorian named Jennifer. Why?
Is that do they not have like Earth-y names?
No, it's like Shrek is the one I can remember.
Sure.
Right. Well, it's like in Spanish class. My name was Vicente because Wade isn't in Spanish,
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe that's what the universal translator translates her Andorian name into.
Yeah. Right. I was Juan. Sean isn't Juan.
No, Juan is John. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Sean is John.
Yeah.
Irish. But
right.
But yeah, but it's a walk. It's A to C.
Yeah.
Glen is a small valley.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Okay.
From Glen to Glen.
The pipes are calling.
Well, that was the
you just skipped around on the song, Glenn.
Yeah, you did.
I know.
I just sang the part with your name in it.
I'm not that Irish. I'm sorry.
Fuck pears. No, that's.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Fuck pears is funny. They're mushy again. Fuck pears.
Yeah, I mean there were little notes in that medical venom that made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. This show's good about that. There's nothing that really blows me away, but I laugh regularly. I chuckle. I'm watching alone and I chuckle, and that's all I need.
There you go.
So that was
it could have been a stronger premiere, but I like the episode fine.
Yeah. But then
we liked it fine.
I was like, oh, when I watched it last, when it came out, I was like, oh,
yeah,
this I hope it gets better than this. It's fine, I don't hate it, but it's like, oh, whatever. Then season 2, the episode 2 came along, and I watched that, and I was like, oh, I like this one more. And
yeah, I like that episode a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody want to do a synopsis of that one while we're here?
I'll do it. I'll do it this time.
Go on, Glenn.
Oh, okay. I'll do it. By the way, I also appreciated the Voight comp test that Tendi gave to Rutherford from Blade Runner.
Was it straight Voight comp or was it just?
I don't know if it's verbatim, but if that was not an intentional Blade Runner reference, I will be absolutely shocked.
Right. Yeah.
Because the one from the first scene is the thing about the tortoise on his back, but I feel like maybe I wouldn't be surprised if in 2049 that's a test that's administered, but I just don't remember that one as well. But I digress. To the synopsis, the episode 202, Keishan, His Eyes Open. This one pretty much just has the two plots. One is the core crew is on a collector space station and sorting through a bunch of references, and the other plot is Boimler on the Titan, which this is the thing I was referring to earlier, which I saw as kind of like a subtextual criticism of the new Trek era, where he is going on a undercover actiony mission. And
we're in synopsis territory, Glenn.
Glenn, this is why we give you shit about the synopsis.
I know where you're going. You're going with the thing that he says at the very end of the episode, and I got the full quote. But we're in synopsis territory, sir.
Glenn, you say, this is the abstract, Glenn. You'll dive into the details later. We always do.
I know exactly where you're going, but this is synopsis.
Fine.
The bullet points, Glenn.
Sean, relax. All is fine. All is well.
It's not, because you're really
fucking
up
the
synopsis.
One they go on hijinks on the collector ship, and the other is Boimler goes on an undercover mission to find out what Pac-Leds are doing, because there's some potential nefarious plot about who is supplying their tech or something.
Yeah, I think I wasn't supposed to be clear on what they were doing. Right. I had no idea what they were doing.
I don't remember the ins and there's Pac-Leds, there's action, it's fighting, and that's
right. That's the idea.
But they did make a reference. They did make a reference to the Pac-Leds having some kind of weapons grade something or other that was well above their pay grade, right. even in this new era where they are a bigger threat.
Right.
And I get the feeling we probably won't hear about that until the finale.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess you think that there's a complex, serialized. But you think there's a story going on in the background that's going to be going behind the scenes this whole season, is what you're saying?
I think that is my guess is what they're going to do is like they thankfully won't waste airtime on it, but like we'll like check back in with Riker at the season finale and be like, oh, by the way, the Borg or whatever were helping them or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Well that might be why they put Pakleds in the opening credits, right? Ooh, if that's Pakled.
Yeah, and there you go. See, that's
good detective work, guys. Yeah. I don't know what Star Trek is.
Right.
Good job.
I saw that there were new ships there, but I didn't know that they were Pakled ships. But I guess that makes sense.
Well, just because they looked like the ones that we had seen in the finale is just what I noticed.
Okay.
I don't know why you'd know they're Pakled ships. That's a nonsense word. No one should know what that is.
It's a reference, well, Sean. Don't you know the reference to Pakleds? There's so many references.
Sean, it's very funny because
go ahead.
The great thing is they're these dumbass characters like lifted from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that are now Star Trek villains.
I mean, that's fun.
I mean, they were in TNG.
I haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide either,
right.
So
they're TNG aliens that were lame.
They're in an episode of TNG.
Yeah, so like everything, this Lower Decks is the reference show because, well, I was watching it and I was like, okay, they meet new aliens when they're on the flagship, and this is the show about the people that aren't doing the exploring.
Right.
So it's like, okay, it's fine that everything is a reference, I guess.
Right. The second contact, context that it makes sense for right. Oh wait, here's I don't know. Let's see what these aliens do now after right after the Enterprise leaves. As they come in and like, hey, I guess we'll clean your walls. I don't know.
Yeah. No, Riker's like the guy that's doing,
Yeah.
And then even this episode, like the Riker's crew are like, we're badass action guys, and they're like,
right, Riker's Chris Pine,
right, and they make from it. Boimler just wants to be on the Marriott in space that was the Enterprise D,
right,
doing jazz and playing in the quartet or whatever.
Is that's what D is? D is
the Enterprise something or other.
The Enterprise D
was
the
classification.
Just the Enterprise D. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because it's a different ship than the Kirk episodes, so
the original Enterprise. Yeah. So this.
Yeah, it's like exactly different refreshes of the same.
The Enterprise. Dick.
Yeah, you got to get that.
Yes,
he wants that D. Yeah, and
he wants
that Enterprise. D. 701D, whatever.
Hell yeah!
By the way, I have the line that Paul F. Tompkins says that y'all were.
Oh, yeah.
He says because they're talking about Data and because they're going to the collector.
Oh yeah.
Ship. And he said, remember, he probably tried to collect Data at some point, and Paul F. Tompkins says they all try to collect Data. Why did they do that?
He just wanted to feel.
He just wanted to feel.
Because he's a robot that just wanted to get human emotions.
No, hey, Wade, I know Data. I watched.
You said you don't know Star Trek, man. Oh, right.
No, wait, I know the Star Trek we've covered on this pod and the Chris Pine movies. Right. That's the Star Trek I know.
Did you notice that there was a case of Chateau Picard on the collector ship?
No, I did not. Very good.
Yeah, I figured there were a lot of. I mean, that was just like, hey, reference. I'm leaning on my 100% guy over here to get some of them.
I have a list if you'd like to hear it.
Give me one of them sex helmets. That's what I want to hear.
Kalis' sex helmet.
Kalis' fornication helmets.
That made me laugh a little bit because
that was good.
Kalis is a Klingon guy that
he's referenced a lot on Discovery.
Yes, he is.
Great.
They call him Kalesh on that show. Great. But in most Trek,
it's referenced anytime Klingons come up. Kalis comes up.
Because he's like the Jesus of Klingon history. And actually, I think at that time, at this point in the Star Trek timeline during Lower Decks, there is a clone of Kalis that is a sort of like the figurehead of the Klingon Empire. I can't remember.
Right. Yeah. No, that happens in TNG, and he's still there in DS9. He's just a figurehead basically at this point.
Yeah. And then what's his name? Who's the guy that Worf shanks eventually?
Gowron.
Gowron, thank you. I don't know why that was bugging the shit out of me. Because Martok is the general who's on DS9.
Yes, Martok's great.
Oh, Mark's fantastic, but
yeah. I'm not gonna do the voice.
I digress.
Yes.
But Sean, I was curious. Well, actually, before that, just some other fun things that were in that collector museum. So they had the halberd from Amok Time. That's like the Sean. Do you ever see Cable Guy?
Yeah, I've seen the Cable Guy.
You remember when they're doing the medieval times fight and he's pretending to be Spock?
Yeah.
The episode that he's referencing, the weapon that Spock uses in that episode is in this museum.
Oh, that's fun.
That's like, yeah.
I like a Cable Guy reference.
There you go. So I knew the way to bring you in.
If there were more Cable Guy references in Lower Decks, I'd be really happy.
Now we're speaking your language.
I mean, in a sense, there was.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So another thing I liked, there was Uhura's uniform.
I thought that was a red uniform.
The two biggest ones were the giant skeleton with the blue Starfleet uniform.
I didn't know that. What was that?
That is the giant Spock from the animated series. So there's an episode where they go to a planet, and for reasons I cannot quite remember, a mad scientist creates a 20-foot tall clone of Spock, and so I could be mistaken, but I don't think there is anything else that could supposed to be.
It seems like as good a guess as any.
Yeah, it was a blue science uniform, so you're probably right.
I think they referenced, yes, it was a science officer uniform, and I think they referenced that giant Spock last season as well. So I think that was almost like a follow up.
Okay. I don't know the animated series, so that I didn't get.
God, Star Trek's dumb.
Yeah.
And then my one that shocked me even more was the Abraham Lincoln skeleton. Sean, did you notice that?
I didn't see that.
No.
There was like a kind of a natural history museum style tableau of a skeleton with a Abraham Lincoln beard and hat being speared through the back by a kind of a golem looking alien.
So that's a TOS. Yeah, that happens in TOS.
That's a TOS episode where again, for reasons I can't quite remember because the 60s were fucking wild, that there was a floating Abraham Lincoln in space that reaches out to the Enterprise for help. And it's somehow a manifestation of these aliens, which is the thing that was stabbing him through the back. So the implication being that the Abe Lincoln that was created by these aliens got backstabbed by it after that episode ended.
Yeah, it's hilarious, Sean. I insist. It really no.
I have no problem. Enjoy
I insist.
it.
It's hilarious.
That whole stuff. That's all made for you. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I guess it's nice that this cartoon show is bridging all the dumb stuff from TOS into the TNG era and stuff, but
right.
Also, it's kind of things change. I'm sounding like Discovery. You can't. They change with the times, and they're calling back to the stuff. So good on them for some. Good on them. You know what? I'm coming around. Good on them for.
Oh, there's also the salt monster.
We just shut up. We just watched Wade convince himself that this is good.
Oh no, I still don't like it.
We just watched it happen in real time.
It was remarkable.
Good on them, but call it out. But then don't make the new stuff you're doing the same shit.
Yeah.
If you want to reference it, but don't say we can play by the same rules that they played by in TOS stuff. That's what I don't like. That's when I don't like the show as much. When you can reference the old stuff because it's funny and dumb, and it's a comedy show, so reference to how that silly thing. But don't do the same plots in a TNG skin that this era has or whatever, and do TOS stuff because then it's just because that stuff was dumb, and it still is But then again, it was we're doing a dumb cartoon show. What do you want?
Yeah, well, no, I think this is the perfect place for that.
If you come back with me with that,
right?
My response is, okay, fine, you got me. So, fine, you got me, whatever.
Right, if the send-up is that, right, look how much better this giant, head omnipotent god works as a cartoon, then, yeah, you're right. It works pretty good as a cartoon.
Right, but, well... Okay, but then all right. Well, I'm working through my thoughts here on this.
We're talking. This is what we're here to do.
But if you're gonna do that, the thing that works about TOS is the characters are great. So they're doing dumb shit,
right?
But the character and the triad between Spock and Kirk and Bones, that just works. And so does the character stuff for the most part in this between.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Boimler Mariner stuff coming back.
Yeah.
And with Jet coming in and being a little bit like, fuck you guys, and then they don't have time for him. That could be going somewhere. I don't know. But, like, if you're going to have your plot stuff be dumb TOS shenanigans, then your characters have to work better than just Jack Ransom being, I sure like working out. And
right,
you know,
it's hard because like it is you're right. They're doing a cartoon, so they're like, well, every character just has a thing, and that's their thing, and we'll hit it, and they, like we can show it physically, and we can show it on their face in the cartoon, and they can do it, and then we've got a 22-minute television show, like easy, boom, done. But so then to do like the TOS plots is like, well, you need a little more than just like those characters just hitting that beat over and over again and just being like, I kicked him in the balls the next episode. Like, oh, all right. And again, I like that, but no, it's an interesting point. I don't disagree with it.
Well, Sean, I have to ask you, what do you think about the Temerian in the episode? Because I'm curious what a...
Don't know what that is, Glenn.
The new science officer that gets turned into a puppet. Does anybody get turned into a puppet in TOS? Mr. 100% over there, I'm looking at you.
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
I was curious about that when they said that.
Yeah.
The
cat doctor's like, this ain't my first puppet. That made me laugh right now.
Right. This ain't my first person turned into a doll. But so maybe I could see it maybe happening in like that episode where they go to the
cat's eye. Or something.
Yes. Yes. Oh, maybe that was cat's paw.
Yeah.
Definitely could have been it. And then there's that episode where they go to like the not Risa, but the other like pleasure planet where like,
is he?
I would not be surprised, but I cannot remember a specific instance.
He's a new security officer, right?
Yeah, because
the
last guy died at the end of the season. So.
Yeah. No, we liked that. Yeah, no, that was actually good.
They have not referenced that character at all this season, which is interesting.
He's dead.
He's dead. They're like, we got to get a new security guy.
I know, but they just haven't. They haven't. No one's been like, oh, hey, I missed that guy.
Because they're resetting, Glenn. They don't.
Yeah, right. They need a new security officer. I liked him. I like that he's voiced by Carl Tart. Podcast. That was Carl Tart. Yep, he was definitely
amazing,
toning down his natural Carlness a little bit.
I love that was Carl Tart.
Very good, yeah, very very good. A brief voice appearance since he spends most of the episode as a puppet.
Right,
yeah.
But and the whole episode's named after him. Kayshawn, his eyes wide.
It is. Yeah. I mean, truly wild.
And that character is also a TNG reference.
Yes. A very
surprise.
I'm sure.
Very classic. One of the biggest nerds on the internet say, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra all the time.
Yep.
And
they sure do.
They sure, if you're looking in the right places.
No, I believe you.
Yeah, but Shako and the Walls.
It's a species that speaks only in a species that only speaks in allegory.
And it's a great TNG episode.
Yeah, I liked his game. I liked his game of like the translator, like not every time it's
how do you say?
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. That stuff that always works. That stuff that simple stuff that gets me. Yeah.
Yeah, and like references, okay, fine. You can hate on them, but like that's what Star Trek fans want a lot of time, I feel like. And it's a fun to see what happened to that Darmok alien. Was question that Kayshawn isn't the same guy from Darmok, though, right? I hope not.
No.
Okay, good.
That guy died.
All right. Yeah, it's been a while. All right. So as long as they didn't say this is the same guy.
Been a while since I could hold my head up high.
Enough with the references from other podcasts.
Oh, I thought that's what we were. I thought I was
making a Stained reference.
I was doing Stained.
Yeah, right.
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Oh, another reference, by the way, from the museum was the bad video game that hypnotized or brainwashed people from TNG. That
the game.
I think what? Yeah, like the headset thing.
Yeah. Oh, was that in there? Okay.
Oh,
the Roombas? Were the Roombas a TNG reference?
Not that I can remember. I think they were just Roombas.
No, they were floating Roombas, I think. Yeah,
that was product placement. Is what that was.
Yeah, right.
That was those Roombas were paying for this show.
Well, speaking of futuristic cleaning products, I think this is the first time we have seen a sonic shower in action, but I might be wrong about that.
Oh yeah, I like the sonic. It opened with the Starship Troopers unisex bathroom. Like,
yeah,
I like that stuff.
I'm Jet, and we're gonna be showering together.
Yeah,
like, all right. Very, very good start. I like that. Very funny.
Yeah. I liked Jet. I like the dynamic.
I like Jet.
Yeah.
Big fan of Jet.
They doing good characters. Like, you think I'm not gonna be Boimler and he's a straight laced guy's like, no man, I'm just like, yeah, everything Jet fine was Jet fine.
Yeah, Jet was maybe like the most realistic feeling character like on Star Trek I've ever. Aren't we all like Jet's just literally every single one of us like no like I'm gonna do my job and follow the rules. But then, like in my downtime, I'm going to shit on everybody I work with.
Right.
That's what we all do.
Yeah.
You're the only lunatic breaking every rule.
Right? Yeah. Why do you want to make it harder? What the fuck?
Right.
We could die. In fact, the squid guy did die.
Yeah, he sure did.
Kalis' sex helmet on him. Maybe the helmet? Yeah.
Maybe the helmet protected him.
Maybe the helmet. No, the skull. It's good. It's good stuff, man. The one note I wrote down.
Ooh.
I took my first note of this podcast, not of this run of this podcast, of the whole time I've been on this podcast. This is the first time I've written something down. I wrote down, I am not a doll, do not play with me. Because that made me laugh.
That was very good.
Ooh, I laughed and laughed. It was very good.
Yeah.
Which I think they're giving the cat doctor more to do, by the way, with stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I always liked the cat doctor.
Yeah, she had more to do in the first episode too.
Yeah,
she showing up with the boulder on the forklift is a good visual.
Yeah, that was a good escalation.
Yeah. No, that's they do that stuff well. They
good,
play.
Yeah.
They play with their toys. Like they use like the tools that they have to deliver some comedy. I like it when the show's sort of letting its hair down and like doing stuff like that, being sillier.
Right.
I think that's when it works for me.
Boimler going undercover as a miner, like they're like, dude, I know you're Starfleet. You got super soft, clean hands.
Soft hands, yeah, very good.
Right, like I'm a miner with a heart of gold, and I have dad issues. Like that's just lampooning every fucking action movie.
Right, yeah.
Which, by the way, Boimler gets his own Thomas Riker.
Oh yeah, another reference.
The show let me know that guys was a reference.
Yes, let me fill you in.
In case it wasn't clear. The show made sure I couldn't miss that fact.
Right, and I was like, okay, that's a little, but I was like, it's fine. And then when he shows up and they're like, did you get transporter clone? And when Cordero and Tendi, they're like, oh, how'd you know that? It was just
it's like a Boimler thing.
It's a simple, dumb little joke, but it made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I liked. Forgot it. It's gone. Oh, I liked that he didn't get kicked off the Titan because he was shitty.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy for him to have been like a real fuck up on the Titan, and just like, but no, like he saves everybody. Like he does a good job. Obviously, like he's constantly terrified. He's afraid. He's a coward, but he's good at everything he's asked to do. It seems like he can do his job, which the show, like you need that because it can't be like, why is he here? Like he's inept.
Yeah, that's the show. That's like why this show works for me, because it does Star Trek well. Like where they're like the Titan crew is like, just we're action guys, and he's like, no, I just want to be the Star Trek guy, and they don't say, oh, you wimp or anything. They're like, oh yeah,
right,
I joined Starfleet because I was into Moss and I really like I just like transporting.
It's like warping. Yeah, it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, all right. And then and so that they just accept him as like, okay, no, we are in this just to do science stuff, and you're in it to do the exploring, not to punch aliens. And and like, oh yeah, because that's and the acceptance of infinite diversity and infinite combination or whatever. It's like
Sure, yeah.
that's the core that you need for Star Trek, and the show gets it. I feel like better than, this. At the end when they're like, "Oh, what was it like on the Titan?" And the complex characters thrown into heavily serialized battles, which always ended in mind-blowing twists and make me question the basic tenets of my reality. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, you fucking wish, Alex Kurtzman, that's what they were doing."
Yeah,
because it sounded like, "Oh, that's what the Trek is doing now." It's like, yeah, that would be great if that's what these fucking other shows were doing, but they're not.
It ain't what they're doing. Nope.
No, that's what because if that beat, that's where I'm getting real worked up again, because that's fine. That's a wonderful thing to do. And if that's what you think you're doing, well, fuck you, because you're not. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No notes.
Yeah, no. Well, it's New Trek is just farting through space.
Right. And yeah, do complex characters in the heavily serialized battles, but fine. They do that. Well, no, they get characters that aren't that complex that they tell you.
There's nothing complex. They're operatic.
Yeah, say I'm complex because I cry a lot.
Right.
And serialized battles. Okay, fine, you got that. For mind-blowing twists, you wish. You think they are, and every time you think you're throwing a twist, I called it. Like before the show even started in season 1. And the only way they're making me question the basic tenets of my reality is,
what am I doing here?
Am I being are they gaslighting me that this is good?
Right.
Because and then when I go on the internet, go on to see everybody
every other
talk
podcast gaslighting me.
Yeah, I see all the people talking about how much they love these shows, and like, okay, you're right. I am questioning the basic tenets of my reality, because are you bullshitting me? Am I being gaslit? I think I am.
Well, all that aside,
but not by this show. I
was about to say I like Lower Decks. I think Lower Decks is really fun, and I actually think it does a lot of Trek stuff better than any of the other new Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, does that mean it's time
to go to bed? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Thanks
great
for listening.
We haven't done this in a while. It's good talking to you guys. I'll see you later.
Rate, review, subscribe.
You guys,
wherever podcasts are heard.
It try as you might, you cannot escape.
What was that?
Whoa, that was a weird tone.
Yeah,
that was
like
turn.
That was some ASMR shit.
Wait,
I felt the tingles.
did you played a sound? Can you play that sound again? Without you?
Something.
What's happening? Something's.
Ugh, I hate the tingles.
Something's
man.
under. What's under your Wii?
I gotta put a placeholder in. So
there was some I got some legit ASMR tingles there, and
that was weird, Glenn. I don't know
like it. I don't like it.
I
don't like the tingles.
Sorry, unintentional.
Was that just some?
But what is intentional is the return of status report.
Yeah, everybody's thrilled about it. This should be real quick. He's not going to tell us. It's really weird that he won't tell us. Right?
Wait, tell you what? What the
Glenn,
sound?
There's a sound when you say "wee woo." There's a sound
else.
Playing.
Were you doing some harmonic Tuvan throat singing shit that we didn't understand?
No, I just did it. I just did it more slowly.
There's like a lower.
There was a lower harmonic or something
register.
In there.
Did really? Oh,
There's like a.
Yeah.
I mean. Oof. There's the storm in the background. I guess maybe that was it.
Never mind.
Both times it happened like it was the exact same sound at the exact same. This is weird. I don't like it.
Can I do the throat singing without realizing it? I guess I can.
No, I'm just gonna chalk it up to a ghost. That's all.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Invested in Trek.
Casper really likes status report. Yeah. Apparently, he wants to get in on it.
So you
realize I'm going to cut out most of this because it will not be my actual voice in the finished product.
Let me ask you guys a psychological question, a philosophical question. Who's older, Casper or Regis Philbin?
I think Casper, right? Because Casper isn't he from like the 1800s?
Well, he died in the 1800s.
So...
Casper's 10.
Yeah, Casper, you're stuck where you are. He's a
child.
I guess
if you're going off that, I guess you're right. I guess Regis should be older.
I think the case can be made both ways. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it's like you said, a philosophical question.
Yeah, Go on. What's going on with status report? There's no news, right?
Yes, since the last time we recorded, I have in fact watched 100% of every single Star Trek show and movie ever made, including Lower Decks.
You can put some like applause in here for yourself.
Sure. I'm not going to do that, but sure.
I mean, I would if I'm not sure why you wouldn't. Wade'll do it. I think it's worth it.
I did. It definitely was a moment like at the end of Highlander where, you know, he kills the Kurgan and, you know, the quickening happens and he's floating in the air. And he says, "I am everything. I know everything."
Yeah.
That verbatim what happened to me when I finished the finale of Enterprise, which was a show.
You became a space god.
Yes, I became a space god.
You curled some trees with your brain.
I curled some trees, and I have very lukewarm opinions about Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, that's most everybody.
How's the finale?
Oh, people hate it.
It's fine. It's
fine. Really?
It's fine. Riker's in it.
It's fine. You don't sound like a real Trek fan if you think it's fine. People hate that finale. I've never watched it.
Look, it like, did I love it? No.
People are so mad about that to this day.
Did I like it? Also, probably not. But you know, it tied things in something. I won't say in a neat little bow, but like, you know, it wrapped things up. It connected to the founding of the Federation.
Which one's Enterprise? What's the overarching?
It's the one with the Bacula.
It's a prequel.
I know he's in there.
Yeah. It's like
okay. Yeah, that's all. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's Enterprise. Enterprise is such a relic of like the early aughts, like in its politics and like execution and everything.
Yeah.
That like I don't really see myself going back to that show unless. I can't think of many episodes that like really got me, like, you know, a lot of episodes of Voyager and DS9 and TNGD or even TOS did. Like it was the show that, like, I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's also got this like weird bro energy to it, and like T'Pol is like a very
just there for it's sexist casting for.
Wait, is there like a sexy lady on this show?
Oh yeah,
there is a very sexualized Vulcan woman on the show. Yes.
What am I googling?
T'Pol, T'Pol.
All right, hold on. Oh,
T'Pol sonic decontamination gel.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's right. That's the pilot.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's mostly what I remember.
You know, the episode I can think of that I liked best was ironically an episode that did not include the actual characters, was the Mirror episode, where it wasn't them traveling to the Mirror Universe, it was just you seeing a story about their Mirror Universe counterparts, which I enjoyed.
Yeah. And the language lady is the Empress.
Yes.
And that's where you get the Emperor from Discovery.
So I was curious about that. Like, are they suggesting that Georgiou is a descendant of that character?
Yes.
Okay.
Yo, this chick's a hottie with a body.
Yes, that's Rick Berman thought so too.
Yeah, that show did not do very well by its women.
It did not do well by her. Yeah, Jolene Blaylock, I think was that her name.
Yeah, that's the actress. Right. Yeah. That's a shame. She fucking rips.
And look, and like the character, there was potential to do really interesting things with that character, but it just so often fell back onto like, she's a beautiful woman, and she, you know, they tried to make her kind of like the shrill voice of reason.
Ooh, that's even worse.
You know what women be like, right?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Right. It's like, ooh, Vulcans be like this, and then she fucks the chief engineer, and that becomes a whole subplot that defines her character, and it's not great. Enterprise is if I had to remove one of these shows, Enterprise would definitely be it. Like, I mean, I appreciate that it expands on like the Andorian and Tellarite stuff, but again, it's such a relic of the aughts.
Yeah.
It's so, like, I have expected to see like a Rock Against Drugs concert on the Enterprise, but whatever. So, but in terms of the whole picture, the entirety of Star Trek, which I now have watched all of it.
I'm sorry, I forgot that you did that over the break.
Yeah. It wasn't that long after we stopped recording. That's the funny thing.
Glenn, rate Star Trek from 1 to 10.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know, the concept of Star Trek, 1 to 10.
Well, I mean, the concept 10, like the concept of, we've,
now shut up. You know what I mean. Star Trek. Rate Star Trek. All of it.
All of it? I mean, if I averaged everything together, I bet I'd probably land, in terms of like quality of like the stories themselves, probably between 7 and 8.
Yeah, right.
Which is good considering, how...
I was going to say 6, but that's...
Yeah.
I mean, Enterprise definitely would bust
the long-running Star Trek podcast.
I know.
You're like, I give this whole thing a 6.
No, but in terms of...
Flush it.
When it's great, we'll put it right up at the top. But if you're gonna average it all out, it's more miss than hit, honestly. But when it's good, and the ideas behind it, I stand for, and
Listen, let me be very clear about where I'm coming from as I ask this question. Star Trek Into Darkness is better than any episode of Star Trek we've covered on this podcast.
Oh no.
That's where no.
Oh, on the pod. Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
That's true. That's in my brain. There's no, because I don't know what any of this Star Trek is. I know what world that Star Trek takes place in. And people don't like Star Trek Into Darkness. First off, they're wrong. That movie honks. Second of all, I don't know. It's good and I like it. That was what I said for first of all.
Look,
all of these shows are
Sean, I will grant you that Star Trek Into Darkness is likely more entertaining than anything we've covered on the pod.
Right.
Hell yeah.
However, compared to...
If you say, so you like Star Trek Into Darkness, and I'm a middle-aged man turning around, sitting backwards in my seat, like, maybe you'd like Wrath of Khan.
Your bow tie is spinning.
Wrath of Khan is the only, old Trek thing I've seen. I like Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan's
great. Wrath of Khan's great.
Great.
But see, the thing is, Star Trek really isn't even Wrath of Khan. Like, Wrath of Khan is great, but
no.
Star Trek is Voyage. The Voyage Home to me is
that's a lot of people's favorite.
A good platonic ideal of a Trek story.
No, I ain't watching that.
It's great.
Oh, it's great.
It's the funniest one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right, man. Well, hold on now. Now you got me thinking.
It's a goofy concept, but it's sold by just the fun time it is. They go back in time to save the whales.
Oh no, I know. Yes. I know about the whales.
Okay, yeah.
That's really a decision they make. That's really something.
The humor's there. You got transparent aluminum jokes.
All right.
It's funny. Yeah, it's a good time.
That is one I've always felt I should see because I know, quote unquote, the whale one. So
right.
Yeah.
It's where they established that they don't have money in the future when they did in TOS.
Yes. So these people still use money.
So yeah, it's doing Star Trek work, but it's also it's a good time. Yes.
It's a rollicking good time for sure. But so really, Sean, the answer is two-pronged because again, if you really are truly averaging everything together, the average is probably going to be lower than expected, but the standouts really fucking stand out. And look, this is something that has spanned literally 580 something
years.
I know that's what it feels like. But it's 580 something hours of content, over 50 plus years, and actually well over 50 years at this point. And you're going to get some turds in that punch bowl, unfortunately. But
speaking of which, if you're going to really 100% Star Trek, don't you have to play all the video games?
Oh God! Well, actually, the funny thing is, I did play Bridge Crew, the VR game.
Oh, that's nothing.
I know. Well, there aren't that.
There's a lot of shit video games that you.
I was gonna say, what other Star Trek games?
There are a lot. There are a lot of PC games. Yeah. A lot that the cast would voice stuff in. Unfortunately, I am not a PC gamer, so I don't really have. I will say, if I had easy access to those sorts of things. If I had a computer that with a Steam account or whatever, I probably would dive into that. But since I don't feel any great need. However, I have listened to also every single episode of and I'll cut this out, Wade, of the official Star Trek podcast.
You son of a bitch.
You motherfucker.
I said I'll cut it out.
Did you listen to the other official Star Trek podcast Engage,
What?
when Discovery started, there was another official podcast that got canceled.
Oh, was there? I didn't know that. Oh,
Yes.
that's funny.
Is that with Brian Doyle Murray?
No.
Oh, I'd listen to that.
What? Why did you say Brian Doyle Murray?
What do you mean?
He's in an episode of Voyager, mind you.
Sure, I don't know. That's why. Fine.
Oh no. Sorry. No. Not Brian. It's not Brian Doyle Murray. It's who's that other guy who kind of looks like him and is in a bunch of similar things?
Bill Murray.
No. Fuck. He's like Deuce Bigelow's dad. For whatever fucking reason, is the role I can remember offhand.
Oof.
But I'll send you a picture of this guy. You absolutely know who I'm talking about. But that guy is in the Ireland holodeck episode of Voyager. Richard Reilly is the guy I was thinking of.
Okay.
He's in Casino, Lethal Weapon 4. He's in a ton of stuff. Okay, fuck it. That's the end of status report. Shut up.
Okay.
Oh, I was waiting for the wee woo.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll add it in post, Sean. The thank you.
I wanted to hear that fucking noise again.
Wee.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't
Boy,
work.
I'm fascinated.
Ghost is left.
Oh, interesting. Well, look, Star Trek's great. The idea of Star Trek's wonderful. There's a lot of really great stuff in there. Is it worth watching every single thing? Probably not. But you know what? It was the year of lockdown, so I'm glad I did it.
You had the time.
I had the time. I'm glad I did it. In many ways,
Lower Decks is good.
Yeah, I had fun with these.
oh yeah, I genuinely really enjoyed the show. I hope it keeps getting better. And because I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy it, but that's because I don't like Star Trek. But
Well,
I like the parts of it that are not really that Star Trek-y. And I actually like some of the parts of it that are Star Trek-y, like I talked about with Boymore, actually being good at his job. Like, what a fun twist on, like, what other shows would do in that situation.
Right.
So there's certainly stuff about it that I like, but it at the end of the day, something this self-referential is, like, fundamentally not for me. So I like the parts of it that are for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that.
But when it is, it works for me. I like it. I think they do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hope for the future of this show.
Yeah. It's not my favorite show, but they're hitting their marks. I feel like that they're.
No, Succession. Succession's my favorite show.
Okay.
that show is fucking great.
I watched the first episode, but this is.
I know. We've talked about this, but
No, it's a great show. I might get around to it. I might not.
That's fine.
All right. How do we end these, anyways? I forget.
Well, we ended by Sean suggesting that he has work in the morning, but it's Saturday, so.
I don't have work in the morning. It is 11:06, and I'm really fucking tired. So
Okay.
Wade has a baby.
Yeah. All right. So I do. Hey, so that's the show. So do all the stuff all the podcast wants you to do. Check out the Patreon that I mentioned at the top of the show. I would. Oh no. Normally this is where I talk about my favorite imaginary podcast. But no, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Rest in peace, Folsom Prison Tunes. That's okay.
It did exist for a time. It was real.
I know. I had good time with it. It's still.
It's up there. You can listen to 13 episodes of it or whatever.
Yeah.
I listen. Unfortunately, I had to tell Lauren to watch out for my exes because they all live in Texas, and Lauren's there as well. That's why I hang my hat in Tennessee.
All right, shut the fuck up. I gotta go to work in the morning.
All right.
That's not true.
Yes.
Wee woo.
No, it's not.
That's not how it ends the show. All right.
So self-destruct codes Alpha Zero Beta Cuck.
Very good. Wonderful.
We're back, baby.
Oh,
we're back.
We're back with a vengeance. I'm back in the New York groove.
Okay, I'm stopping recording now.
Back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. He's definitely got a Brian Doyle Murray.